What's good? We are back at it again. Welcome to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast, where we give our opinion by not only giving you the stats with the facts. Hey man, I go by the name of Bacon. My co-host is here with me.
It's your boy, Mr. Too Many Reasons himself, D-Red. How y'all doing?
How you doing, man? You good?
Hey, man, I'm good, bro. You know, it's been a solid week, another quarantine week. So,
hey. You got a haircut and you all sharp and stuff, man. What's up with that?
Oh, man, I had to go hit my guy. You feel me? I was out here looking rough. And, you know, now that we going public, I got to be good for the public eye. We never know who may be watching.
Man, I don't want to hear you talking about you supposed to be doing the quarantine, and you over here looking clean. You ain't looking quarantined at all.
Man, you know, when you got a wife, you still got to kind of keep up. I just don't need her looking at me with that face like, what, this? Yeah, so I just, got me and the son touched up.
I feel it.
You feel me?
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Shout out to the mothers out there who had a great Mother's Day those past 2 days. Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah, that'd be 2 days. 2 days, yeah. So shout out to the mothers, my mother, my wife, mothers-in-laws, all of them.
For sure. So we had a crazy topic last week. We had a crazy discussion last week talking about Mike Jordan. Before we even go into today's question or we talk, what we're going to talk about today, we got to at least see what the people was talking about last week.
Gotta tap in.
We got to tap in. So I'm going to tap in and see some of the comments that we got last week, bro. One of them was my man. Let me see. Let's get the name right because I'm bad with names. I'm going to make sure. I don't want nobody coming at me crazy right now. You know how internet people could
do. Yeah. Butchering somebody's name is up there as one of those things where people be in their feelings.
Facts. And so I don't want nobody coming at me crazy for butchering somebody's name or whatever the case may be. So my man Collins, no. This is a different one. We're going to talk about that one too a little bit later. But hold on. You know how technology be, man. Technology be on that.
Man. You gotta...
Okay. So my man Collins, yes, he did say that. He said it's a blasphemy. Klay Thompson is not locking Michael Jordan up.
Hold up.
That man is 1,000% correct. That man right there, he commented on our YouTube and he also hit me personally because that's my guy. He went to Fresno State. Shout out to them Fresno State Bulldogs, alums right here.
Facts.
Yeah, man, he said you was on something. He couldn't identify what it was, but he definitely said you was on something. Wow. And it was blasphemous for you to even think that Klay Thompson and Michael Jordan belong in the same sentence. And I think that's a direct quote from him.
Hold up.
Yeah.
First of all, Collins, all right, it's Tuesday. Anyway, let me say this. It's disrespectful for people to say that just because you was in a certain era, you was this guy in that era, that people in this era couldn't even stand the test of time against you. Klay Thompson is an elite defender in today's game where you can't hand check, where you can't touch nobody, and it's a honor to be even be considered a defender, to be in this day and age. Now, back in the day where you could direct somebody and make somebody go a certain way, then yeah, you know what I mean? I understand that, but Klay Thompson is a elite defender. Now, I get it. You can't stop a great scorer like Michael Jordan, but I'm going to stick by my word and say Klay Thompson would have made it tough for MJ because I respect Klay Thompson defense. And Mike, and we ain't going to go on that tangent today, but Mike was getting by a lot of people who didn't have great lateral quickness like that. That's just what it is. They didn't have – their footwork wasn't like today's footwork. These people footwork more athletic, more agile. they're a little bit way more faster in a lot of ways. And so I'm going to stick by that. And I ain't on nothing. I'm sober-tober, okay?
Yeah. I mean, you got a point that today's game is a little better. Athletes are a little better. I seen a quote from Isaiah Thomas this past week that basically said Jordan's athleticism then is what the athleticism is now.
Exactly.
Basically, in so many words.
That is so true, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it, but I feel on any given day, Jordan is giving Clay 35.
Okay, that's cool. I hear you, but it's gonna be a tough 35. Put it that way. It's gonna be a tough 35. But on to today's episode.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, we know Mike Jordan was that guy in that era. He was the guy who set the bar extremely high for this new generation of basketball players.
Yes, sir.
And we always have those debates as far as like, who's the next guy? Who's the next Michael Jordan? Who's the next Kobe Bryant? Who's the next LeBron James? Right? So it had me thinking, bro. It had me thinking.
And what was you thinking about, bro? What was crossing your mind?
I wanted to know. I was like, yo, who is the next guy? Who's the next up? You know what I mean? Who is the next guy to take the game to a complete different level?
Well, I got 4 guys for you.
You got 4?
4.
That's a lot of guys to be.
I got, but wait, because I'm looking at it in this 10-year span, 2020 to 2030. I got 4 guys that's going to be those guys, and out of the 4, I got a guy that's going to be the guy.
So you got 4 guys that's going to be the guy, but one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
The guy.
Who is the guy? I want to just know who that is right there. But I'm going to hear the other 3 guys.
Uh-huh.
The guy.
Oh, the guy?
Yes.
Well, he goes by the name of Jalen Green.
Oh, I heard about that guy.
Hey, listen, when I tell you that this young man has all the tools, you want to talk about a tool bag, a guy that just has a bag full of tools, however you want to put it. Oh, he is going to be that guy. Next up, next in, the next 10 years, face of the NBA. And you heard it here first. The face of the NBA. Not just a guy, the face of the league. Whatever shoe company decide, he's the face of that shoe company. He has the charisma. He's a people person. And out here in Fresno, there was never a game that he played where it was not standing room only. Never. And that was as a sophomore and junior.
Sophomore and junior, he had the fans where standing room on. It was packed out stadiums.
Every game. I'm talking, he could be playing a team that's 1-15, and a team is 16-0. Stands is packed. You go to a game, you're bound to see 3 to 4 college coaches every single time.
He was the number 1 player in college. I mean, not college, in high school this year. Number 1 ranked high school player for the class of 2020.
Yes, sir.
He was. So I can understand that, but you said he's going to be the face of the league in the next, 2 to 3 years? Did you just say that?
I said 10, in that 10-year span, 2020 to 2030.
He'll be the face.
He'll be the face. No doubts. And I really don't think it's going to be a couple of hot seconds, but he's going to be that guy.
Who's the other 3 though? I understand you got Jalen, and I like the kid. I seen the kid actually play. Unfortunately that I saw the game that they actually lost. It was a good game. The dude from the other team hit a game-winning shot. I forgot who they played that day. I even recorded it. because it was crazy. He boomed on somebody. Something vicious. I was like, whoa, who is that dude right there? And, I'm coming from, Los Angeles, California, where there's a lot of hoopers. And to be out here, you don't really hear too much about Fresno hoopers, but there are some hoopers in Fresno that know how to ball. And he's one of those guys that's up there, you know what I mean, that can hoop. You know what I mean? You got Quincy Pondexter just from Fresno who ended up making it to the league. Some other folks that made it to
Lopez brothers.
They from Fresno, went to Stanford. Now they're still in the league. So there are some Fresno hoopers. They have put Fresno on the map. And maybe Jalen is the guy to take it to the next level. I still think there's some holes in his game in regards to his size. He got to definitely put on some more muscle. And I think that'll come over time. But as far as like the tangibles of playing in the league, I think he can do that. I based off, I've seen him played in the Nike, I think Eyeball League. I forgot what it's called. It's what the heck is that Nike? It's the Peach Jam. It's like a big.
Oh yeah. That big tournament that everyone goes to.
It's EBL or something like that. It's a big Nike tournament they do every summer, and the dude balls against the top competition. So I can see that in the next 10 years he could be that guy.
Man, look, I'm telling you right now that if this 1-year college rule was not in, I believe he's arguably the number 1 pick.
Hold up.
Wow.
And I know there's some guys out there. It's a guy out there by, I think his name's like LaMelo Ball.
Yes, I was about to say that. That's the dude. I had Melo.
Okay.
As probably that guy, but there's some guys that I had also in that list that could be the guy. Like, for example, people that's in the game right now. I think people didn't think Zion Williams.
Oh.
People didn't think Zion Williams was gonna come in the league and do what he's doing to these dudes. My only issue with Zion is health. That's my only issue with him. But as far as like the guy right now, I think Zion is the guy right now. Oh, well, not right now, but he's going to be the next up because he came in, he went to college, he's already damn near up there with the top 5 players in the league for ticket prices and jersey sales. This dude is a freaking walking dollar sign. People want to see Zion play. New Orleans Pelicans. Don't get me wrong, that team is not a bad team at all. But they got more TV time than they ever had because of one player on that team. It's like when LeBron James was going to Cleveland, you seen all those Cleveland Cavalier games on national TV because of one guy. And Zion is that next dude who's going to have those national televised games. The dude is he's eye candy, man. He's eye candy. And the way he's a gamer. He's explosive. He's still working on his game. He's still young. My only thing is he's going to be able to be healthy. He's going to have to cut a little of that weight. Definitely. And he could be evolved Charles Barkley, a more athletic Charles Barkley.
I would say a more polished Sean Kemp.
Ooh.
Just because Barkley was more underneath the rim kind of player, and Kemp was above the rim. But a lot of people don't know that Sean Kemp had a jumper. He just got big and bigger, and it kind of fell off when he got to Cleveland. But I think he's just going to be a more polished Sean Kemp. Another guy right now in the league that I feel like is hot is that young man out there in the ATL, Mr. Trey Young. Because that young man can boogie. He got the handle. He got the jump shot from anywhere on the court. He's kind of like the Steph where when he touches the ball, you have to come guard up at least by half court because he can fire that thing up from the logo.
Yes.
And it's cash money. My only reservation about him is, will he become a defensive guy? He doesn't have to become a lockdown perimeter guy, but will he become a guy that's willing to compete on defense? Because from year 1 to year 2, he upped his scoring average 10 points from 19 to 29. And that's big.
That is big.
10 points in the league when you're the only guy basically kind of on that team. They got some young guns with Collins and Reddish and Hunter and Herter, but Trae Young is the face of that team. And he upped it from 19 points to 29 that next year, damn near 30. That's big. You feel me?
That is big. My only gripe with Trae Young is his size. And the league, if you look at the superstars, there's only been a few superstars.
Little guys.
Isaiah, AI, Muggsy Bowe, if you want to throw him in there, who really made an impact on the game. It's rarely do you have little. I don't want to call them little guys, but undersized guys be the face of the league. Chris Paul is another one of those players who he's not as tall, but he's a dog. Russell Westbrook. It's rare for him to really be the face of the league and be that guy because of the genetics. It's just they're not tall enough. They can't do everything. They can do a lot, but they can't do everything like the Michaels and the LeBrons and the Kobe's and the KD's and the Dirks and all those people. That's the only gripe that they get is because they can't do a lot of other things. They're not deficient in those areas, but they just are a liability in certain. You can't put a Trae Young on no 3 or no 4. You can't do that. You know what I mean? But you got where Mike can guard from 3 to 2 to 1, maybe even a 4, depending on the side. KD can guard damn near everybody, maybe
all
not
5.
But he could, for some centers, the way the league is now, he can guard all 5. You get what I'm saying? And so that is the only gripe with Trae Young. But it's this dude, man, that I had, my man Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham. Hey, speaking of that, earlier you said Jalen Green was ranked number 1, right?
No, I did.
So
you're talking about as far as number 1 player.
Number 1 player as far as rank.
So next up, I said LaMelo Ball is my guy that I choose.
No. I was kind of going with, you said Cade Cunningham, so I was getting a little filler. So ESPN has Jalen ranked 1.
Right.
But Rivals has Mr. Cade Cunningham as ranked number 1.
That dude can ball. 6'7".
Okay, talk to me.
He can shoot it. He can distribute it. He can rebound. He does damn near everything on the floor, and he plays defense. The dude took his high school team to the championship undefeated. Didn't lose a game.
Oh.
In Florida. Didn't lose a game. The dude's nice. Now, Jalen Green is nice, too, because, Jalen Green been on the dang near the 16 under USA team, 17 under USA team, and I believe the last one, too. He got dang near 3 chips as a U.S. basketball player, if I'm not mistaken. I can fact check it or whatever the case may be, because people was getting on us about some of the facts. And some of that stuff be off the top of the dome, and it's not accurate, but it's somewhat accurate per se. It's not to the T. But
we in the ballpark, man. We in the ballpark.
You know what I'm saying? I like Cade Cunningham as well. I don't know if what he's gonna do in the league, but you can't teach height, and that's why I said LaMelo Ball was my guy. I love Jalen Green's game. I love it, but you can't teach 6'7", 6'8". You can't teach that. The 6'5" and that 3 inches, it does do a difference. It make a difference. If you can, let's say LaMelo Ball and Jalen Green play head to head, or let's even take it this way.
Okay, talk to me.
Who has a better NBA career, LaMelo Ball or Jalen Green?
Oh, that's easy, Jalen Green. I don't know why we even having this conversation. Not saying that LaMelo's not going to have a good NBA career. I'm not. I feel like LaMelo Ball game is good. You had a chance to see him briefly in high school. and then he went overseas and did his thing overseas. He's actually, him and his brother and his dad have actually out of G League. Jalen Green's in the G League, if you really want to talk about it, because of the whole, professional thing and paying these kids. So his brand and what he's doing for the game, that's major respect for a young man like that to really want to expand that horizon. And it's also one of the talks that him and his business partner was thinking about purchasing the team he was playing for. So stuff like that, especially for us young black men,
right?
Those are major keys.
Major.
But when it comes to this game of basketball, Jalen Green's going to be that guy. He's just, to me, he's a better basketball player. I feel like he really doesn't have any deficiencies outside of he just has to want to compete on defense. But LaMelo, I think, is 6'7", 6'8". Jalen is listed about 6'5".
Yes.
But Jalen has a wingspan that is nice. And to me, Jalen Green, and hear me when I say this, I don't want to get into comparisons and doing too much. But Jalen Green's body type is the same body type as a late, great Kobe Bryant when he came out in 96.
Wow.
The body type, the body size, the game. You go look at some of Kobe's highlights from high school back in 96, and you mirror that with Mr. Jalen Green's highlights up until now, you are looking at the similarities of the same play. And if he puts that work in and he becomes that maniacal and he becomes that cynical about his game, you can see him on that trajectory and pathway to the Kobes and the Jordans of the world, because I just have that much faith in his game. I have the luxury of having firsthand experience of having to scout the man.
Okay.
Like, I coached at Edison High School, and we had the luxury of playing against Jalen Green twice a year. And the headache he gave me as an assistant and our head coach, because it was just like, what do we do? We tried boxing one, didn't work. We tried triangle in two, didn't work. We tried face guarding, didn't work. It just didn't matter because the man is that skilled. I had a chance to watch the man in tournaments out here. Different defensive tactics, different defensive pressures, all resorted in the man getting at least 30. At least. That's at least. And
you can score.
And the thing was, he's not even a selfish guy. His assist numbers aren't real high, but when you look at the game, he's not selfish. He's just the person that if the game is getting stagnant and he's been passing it and his teammates not getting it, he's the guy like, give me the rock and I'll go get us a bucket and change the momentum. And that's why I feel like when that's been seen over and over again and you have that killer in you, I feel like it just and that's why he's going to be that guy in the league.
Hold up. Me until you said killer. I get, this is my thing when people always say killer and clutch. Those are things you can't really measure. You can't measure killer because at the end of the day, it's about execution. Because, take, for example, if Mike missed every game winner shot that he took, you wouldn't be calling Mike a killer. You'd be like, man, why is he shooting the goddamn basketball? It was a simple fact that he was able to execute and he made those shots. That made him, quote unquote, that guy where you give him clutch genes and all that stuff. It's all about execution at the end of the day. And I think Jalen Green does execute very well in games, and he doesn't fear the pressure of failure. That's what I say you can say with these guys.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
They don't have that fear of failing. Like, if I miss it, oh well. But I'm gonna live with the results. Where some people may not want to deal with that. Maybe some people are not. They don't like to deal with that failure aspect because maybe they don't like to deal with that off the court and the pressure that comes with it. But this is why I think LaMelo Ball, taking nothing away from Jalen Green, the dude is gonna be a dog when he get in the league if he stays healthy and put in the work and he gets better. Because the people who I know who's coached him, he played on their AAU team, and they say that dude has the it factor to make it to that next level. And I believe,
Work ethic.
he got that work ethic or whatever the case may be. But Melo Ball for me, that guy. I think Melo probably has a better career because he's already played against pros. He's already doing what Jalen's doing right now, going to the G League to play against people in the NBA. He's playing against people overseas, pro athletes, grown men that's in their 20s, 30s, or whatever the case may be, and he's getting buckets. Getting buckets, all right? He can shoot it. He can distribute it. He's unselfish. And he got people like his brother Lonzo, who's not a bad dude. He just got a bad rap. His father made his NBA career worse than it was. You know what I'm saying? Because they heightened it up. Like, my son is going to be the next best thing. If his father just said, hey, my son's in the league, Lonzo is having a solid NBA career right now or whatever. Just the only thing, he's working on his shot. He's improving. He's getting better. Melo already got a strap. Now, he going to tune it up a little bit, but that boy can shoot it. He can, he go to coop, throw the line, he can dunk it. The game is easy for that kid. He reminds me of a Kevin Durant. When you look at the Kevin Durant, that bony, little skinny, you know what I mean? They came in the league skinny. And when Kevin Durant came in the league, he was still giving people buckets. He had no muscle on his body. Didn't look like the boy lift weights at all, but he was strong and he was athletic and elusive, and he can do a lot of amazing things. That's what I see Melo Ball being, and he can play the point. Now, Jalen probably could be the two guard. He's going to be a two guard, but they maybe I got to see. Maybe what if they want him to play the one? Can he play the one? Melo can play the one.
Jalen can play the one.
Melo can play the two, the one, and maybe even the three if he wanted to. He can play with the ball and without the ball. Now, could Jalen play without the ball? I don't know. That's up for debate. But I think Melo can play with and without the ball, and that experience of having a brother that's in a league that can teach you the ropes, right? His father hopefully learned the lesson. Ain't going to be saying my son X, Y, and Z. Just let your son play and do his thing. Melo, I remember my boy Jordan was talking about they played them in a high school game, and he was at 16 at the time. Mm-hmm. And they was like, yo, don't let him get buckets. And they, at the end of the game, he wasn't on a good team at the time. They beat him, but Melo had about 45, 50 points. They didn't even know he had 45, 50 points. That's how crazy it was. But the man put up 45, 50 points, and he was the only dude on the team, or whatever the case may be. So that's why I think Melo may slightly edge Jalen Green. But I love Jalen Green's game. I love his tenacity. I love his aggression. I love his ability to just go at it and be after and accept the challenge. Put it that way. Accept the challenge and be ready for big games. I also, and we ain't talk about him, I don't know how he's going to play in the NBA, but Josh Christopher, that's a dog as well. I like Josh Christopher. I just don't know. I know we didn't talk about him. I like Josh Christopher, but I don't know if he's going to be another Nick Young, because people think Nick Young was whack. Nick Young can hoop. And in his high school, he was a hooper. It's just, I don't know if he put that work in. It was like, he could have took his game to that next level, but he didn't. Josh Christopher has a lot of tangibles to be that guy. But I just don't know if he's going to take the challenge, accept the challenge, put in the work, and do the things he got to do. Because this is the one thing I have against a lot of these younger dudes, is that the social media era. A lot of these dudes, they think they're that guy because of the fame they got already, the publicity, the exposure. Some of them getting bags out of this world. You get what I'm saying? And I think that may impact their work ethic. I hope that don't interrupt their mental to be like, I still got work to do. If If I want to be great, if I want to be great at what I do, I got to put in a lot of work. The work is the aspect. That's what separates the pros from college stars to high school stars. The work ethic. Are you willing to put in that work to continue to improve your game? Don't have that mentality like I'm that nigga. Like I'm that.
I want you touched on a lot of great points. I agree. Josh Christopher. One thing about Josh Christopher, he has a great pedigree.
Yes,
His older brother, Patrick Christopher, is a former Cal Bear, had a brief stint in the NBA. I was in high school, so I got to see Patrick Christopher play.
Right.
He went to Mayfair, which is a rival of mine. Shout out to Artesia High. Big ups to James Harden out of Artesia High and some my other guys out of Artesia High. But Mayfair High School is a good breeding ground for hoopers. And Josh Christopher, I think, is another one of those rising stars that's going to be something nice. And he is the highest rated Arizona State recruit since James Harden. And we see how James Harden's career went from Arizona State to the league. So I feel like if he stays as humble as people say that he is, if he stays as dedicated to the game that people say that he is, I see no reason why he can't excel in the league. I don't see no reason why. But I have a guy that hasn't really been talked about, and you really have to be watching college basketball this year to really be like, oh yeah, the name Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. Young man is a walking bucket. And again, I'm not too far. And again, when I say these comparisons, I'm not saying like that's what he's going to be. But when I look at his game, it reminds me. His game is eerily similar to D. Wade. The way he's very shifty, he's explosive. You feel me? He can Euro that thing. He can play with his back to the basket. And he will go punch on anybody. And he is fearless. He just has that, like you talked about, that tangible of just not being afraid of the moment. Like when the game is on the line, he's not shying away from the pressure, whether it's him taking a shot or him making the right decision. The young man is a dog. And he played for the Georgia Bulldogs, and the young man is a dog. His last college game in the SEC tournament, I believe, he put up 36 on South Carolina. And the game before that, he had 26. So he finished his college career with 19-5, and I just believe he has a part of it. He has a part of it because the young man gets – but a lot of people don't watch a lot of Georgia basketball. You know, you're watching the Georgia Bulldogs and SEC, you know, but that man, Anthony Edwards, whoo.
I've seen him play one-on-one against Jalen Green, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Instagram, they was playing a very heated basketball game. You talking about a high school player against and Jalen Green was holding his own. That's why I said Jalen Green has all the tangibles, and I respect that observation, and I respect your opinion on saying that he can be the guy. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people that could be the guy. We won't know who is actually the guy, but you're on the chopping block today. You are on the chopping block. Let me get that time ready to go for you, because I got a good one for you. I'm putting you on the chopping block with a crazy one. And what you have to do, yeah, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy.
Oh, I'm on the chopping block today, and it's going to be crazy. So I don't get to go back and forth and articulate. I'm just on the chopping block today. And
you're on the chopping block. I'm going to give you a random question. I want you to consider about what we've been talking about.
Okay.
Jalen Green, who will win out of a one-on-one basketball game, one-on-one between Jalen Green and Jason Tatum? I want to know who's going to win that game and why they're going to win that game starting now.
Oh, this is rude. Jalen Green, and so wait, you gonna put me against my Duke guy that plays for the Celtics and the young man that I believe is the next guy, and they're playing one-on-one right now? And who would win?
Who is taking the dub? Your time is starting right now. I know it started. You had 1 minute. You ain't got that much.
Oh, you know what? Give me Jalen Green.
Wow.
I'm not gonna sit here and hold you. I believe to 11, it's 10-10. Jalen Green has a point and he gets the bucket. It's that simple. I have that much faith in the young man. I just believe he will step up to the challenge. Jason Tatum is a dog, certified dog. But in the game of one-on-one, I'm not bagging off because I gotta look at it like this. If I feel like he's gonna be the face of the next 10 years, I feel like he's gonna be the best player. And I'm always take the best player in a game of one-on-one. So give me Jalen Green over my guy, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, if you get a chance to watch this, no disrespect. None taken at all. You are my guy from Duke University, and that's it. Come on. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, you can't even rebuttal. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Just let it go.
I don't have nothing to say, but it's up to y'all. I can't believe, yo, Collins, I want you to be on that comments. I want you on this man's head. I want that same treatment. When this man made that statement, I want it in the comments below. And we also want to see how y'all feel in the comments below. Thank y'all again for tuning in another episode of Dat Talk Podcast. If you agree with this man, Too Many Reasons, aka DJ, Jalen Green is going to be the face of the NBA. Let me know in the comments below, or let us know who you think is going to be the face of the NBA. Don't
talk to us. We talk back, baby.
Don't forget to talk that talk. We out of here, man. Jalen Green and Tatum.
Buckets, man. Buckets. He's a bucket getter, guy.